Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today, two powerful infantry civilizations battle it out to determine who, once and for all, will have alphabetical primacy in the ordered list of AoE 2 civilizations, as Sebastian, playing as the Armenians in red, gets ready to take on the Viper, playing as the Aztecs in blue. Now, while the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings, and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP, will he get the second? Of course he does. Why don't we take a look at the Civ matchup we are going to be watching today, because I suspect it's going to be a fun one. Now, the Armenians, primarily an infantry civilization with a few cool features. To start with, all of their infantry come with extra line of sight and are available in Age earlier, which ultimately means the following. Armenians have access to Spearmen in the Dark Age, Longswordsmen and Pikemen in Feudal, and Two-Handed Swordsmen, Champions, and Halberdiers in Castle Age. I will repeat that, Champions in the Castle Age. Now, these same infantry units, except for their Spearman line units, can be upgraded to get a big plus 30 HP boost, and their first unique unit, the Warrior Priest, blurs the line between Man of War and Man of the Cloth, being an infantry unit that can actually heal friendly units and also gather relics. Now, to support their slower moving bipedal army on the battlefield, the Armenians can field a second unique unit, the Composite Bowman. This is a foot archer whose attack actually ignores the armor of all land-based units except for siege units. Now, in order to help the Armenians get their military-industrial complex up and running, get that army out on the field and doing what armies like to do best, their first fortified church does come with a free relic. Their mule carts are, they're, pardon me, I always get lost when it's a rhino or an elephant. You guys know sometimes I will stutter during these introductions, particularly when it's these kinds of pulls, just because I always want to see if someone can pull a rhino or an elephant, which move faster than boars and javelinas, for example, without taking any villager damage. But in any event, their mule carts are 25% cheaper, and their mule cart technologies are 40% more effective, which means more productive Armenian miners and lumberjacks. Now, pivoting to the north of the map, we've got the Aztecs, a warrior monk civilization. Their monks gain 5 hit points for every single technology that's researched, so a fully upgraded Aztec monk now comes with a massive 100 HP compared to the usual or regular 30 or 45. Now, to help with the gold cost of upgrading your monks, which is significant, any relics collected by the Aztecs do generate 33% more gold. Look at this. Look at this Hakuna Matata situation here. We've got 2 ostriches, 2 camels, a zebra, or rather 3 camels, hubba hubba, and a relic in the middle of all of this. This is a very Indiana Jones vibes over here. Now, to support their monks on the battlefield, all Aztec military units are produced 11% faster. Their skirmishers can be upgraded to get extra range and attack, and their infantry can be upgraded to get a massive +4 attack boost, which is great news for their unique unit. Will she take damage? Yeah, it looks like she might. Oh, right at the last second. Very rare to see a clean pull, and it looks like the previous villager also took some damage. By the way, that +4 attack boost, that Garland Wars upgrade, super duper fun and super important for their unique unit, the Jaguar Warrior, a middle-of-the-road infantry unit that comes with a pretty good attack bonus against other infantry. Now, to support their military production, Aztec villagers do carry 3 extra resources right from the very start of the game. And they do start the game, if you take a look at the top right of your screen, with 50 extra gold. So they basically either get loom for free, or they can train 2 extra militiamen to harass their opponents right at the very get-go. So another matchup of fairly interesting civilizations here. Although I suspect, if, not always one to predict how the games go, just because when you're playing... or watching rather, players with these kinds of Elos, especially a player like the Viper, who you never know what the hell you're going to see. You might see the absolute amazing, most creative game. You might see an absolute disaster. You might see a million things from these pro players. I shouldn't mention the Viper specifically. I mean, pro players in general are both sometimes the most entertaining and sometimes the most frustrating games to watch. But I suspect it might be perhaps an uphill battle for our Armenian. His biggest strength, the infantry, very much countered by the Jaguar Warrior, who comes with a massive +10, and then I believe +11 when it's elite attack bonus against infantry, and whose other most powerful unit, can you have 2 most powerful units? Let's say they share the crown for most powerful unit, that Composite Bowman that ignores armor. Well, now you've got a skirmisher, which is great at killing any kind of archer, but it comes with extra range and attack. We'll see whether or not Sebastian decides to go the route of the infantry in Castle Age. We'll see if he strikes earlier, if he tries to dethrone the Aztec. On the other hand, we'll see if the Aztec even gives him an opportunity to do so. We'll see how this game progresses. Again, every time I try to predict this eagle's going to go left, believe me, the eagle is going to go right. And so I have stopped predicting. The only thing I can predict is that when I click on these beautiful lemon bushes, the pretty blue butterflies that I am absolutely enthralled with will come out as both players in 12 seconds will be in Feudal Age. Let's take a quick look at where the resources are spawned or have spawned. We have primary gold off the beaten track to the back, primary stone to the back as well for our Armenian, an extra bit of gold nice and secure within the radius of the settlement, and then extra gold and stone very much outside the radius of the settlement. So not that great. Primary gold and stone for the Viper also in the back, but his additional resources, secondary, tertiary gold, and secondary stone, all very exposed in the forward position, which, based on the positioning of his forests, is completely open. I mean, I don't know if the Viper is going to necessarily want to use this weird-looking dead, half-dead forest in the middle here. This is a very far-off place to wall off, and so he's already begun a bit of a semi-wall off. It looks like the houses might extend further down. These houses might extend further left, whereas our Armenian, his forest's not in a terrible location, and he's got a few extra ones here off to the side/back, whereas the Viper also has a few and has that relic close by. Now, the interesting thing here with the Aztecs collecting 33% more gold for their relics is if the Armenian does build, whatever the word is, a fortified church, that will essentially raise the number of relics in the map from 5 to 6. And so if our Aztec pushes out, destroys that fortified church, and then gathers 6 relics, can you imagine how much gold that's going to be for the Aztec with that extra gold generation? For now, all of that is pure conjecture as a random blacksmith is being placed on a hill. Eagle discovers it. Eagle runs forward. You are not a boar, so placing a house underneath you doesn't stun you and confuse you. And the Eagle continues moving forward. Both players sitting at 26 villagers apiece. Both players 5 to 7 military count. A lot of archers for our Armenian, and a decent amount of skirmishers and eagles. Oh, look how slow they're moving. You have tethered your quickest moving unit to the slowest one, and that is why the eagle is comically making his way forward in such a slow pace. I like that both players are keeping abreast of each other with in terms of villager count. Both of them seeming happy to go into the 30s. No one banking any kind of food particularly, and now, oh, after yesterday's game, I thought I would get a break. If you didn't watch yesterday's game between Hera and Mr. Yo, you don't know what I'm talking about. So kind of spoiler alert, man, they were both attacking into each other at the exact same time endlessly. And first kill of the game. Look at that. I caught it for a change. First 2 kills of the game here going to our Armenian with a more powerful archer unit. But now he's kind of stuck behind enemy lines. And so I don't know how long these archers are going to survive. But man, oh man, was that game very taxing on my ability to focus on my neck muscles. I may have sprained something just watching that game yesterday, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. If not, definitely check it out. One of the most crazy games of the last month or so, as this Armenian army, unit by unit, is just picking off the Viper's, I want to say, settlement economy. And oh, he thought he was fancy placing 2 villagers in here and then constructing the mining camp around him. But no, that just created a death nook, and death nook it is. At the same time, it looks like our Aztec has gotten actually nothing done. That can't be right. No, that is absolutely right. He's got 0 kills on this entire group, as the town center now joins in on the fun, says, hey, you know what? You don't have to be alive. You don't have to be sentient. You don't have to have legs, arms, and a spear or some kind of implement of war to kill. As long as I've got villagers inside of me, I will fire arrows and I will gun your units down. Oh, it looks like the Viper is finally starting to get some kills here, all the way up to a massive 3, but our Armenian knows about the minimum range of the skirmishers, so he's moving into it, at least to one of them. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe he just wants to run by. Maybe he's trying to go at these villagers. No, maybe he's trying to get the hell out of here. Why not just continue north if you wanted to escape? What is this weird movement out of our Armenian, who now loses his entire expeditionary force? But man, that was pretty worthwhile. 12 kills, 5 of them villagers. Although the Viper has killed 6 units of his opponent. Now his army's a little bit trapped. Eagle's going to try to chase the scout, gets the archer as well. So getting some of these expensive units is the Armenian, who is housed at 45 population. The Viper has enough space to go up to 70. Man, these two civilizations, oddly similar. You know, one with villagers who can get roided up with their mule cart, 40% more effective upgrades. Another civilization whose villagers carry 3 extra resources right from the very beginning of the game. So I'm very curious to see how this game progresses. For now, the level of action that we're seeing, I'm here for it. Both of them trying to skill check one another. If you guys haven't noticed, that is my new favorite thing to say in every single game. Whether it applies or not is a different question, but it's definitely my new favorite thing to say. What is this? Somebody in the comments, let me know. What the hell is this? I'm trying to think. What is inside of there? I, by the way, don't know if this is closed. It looks like this house on the right is on the high ground. It looks like the lines are touching, but the shifting sands of Arabia can be misleading. As the players disengage, the Viper will be first to hit castle. It looks like Sebastian needs a little tiny bit more food. Gets it, and he's now also going up to the next stage. About 20 or so seconds, 22 or 3 seconds behind his opponent. Not the end of the world. He is up 6 entire villagers. Of course he is, because he's killed 5 of the Vipers, and he's not done. He's not done. Why did he stop going after that villager? How bad is their HP? Oh, okay, he did not want to sacrifice these scouts. Look at their HP. What a lucky villager. But an injured one comes out. I'm surprised the Viper repositioned this injured villager here and not further back, knowing that those scouts can dart in at any moment. And a few... Oh, Armenian is being so annoying. He's bringing in even more archers. And now the scouts should be able to zone out the skirmishers. Go after the eagle first. Yeah, there you go. You have to go after that eagle first. With that eagle dead, your scouts are going to be running amok. Although, never mind. Wrong call, number 8 of the game. Ooh, we are going infantry for our Armenian. Whose villager gets surrounded by eagles. Oh, the last thing you want to see as a feudal age... No, did I say villager? I meant archer. The last thing you want to see as a feudal age archer is a whole bunch of eagle warriors popping out of a barracks and heading straight for you, making a beeline towards you. And it looks like our Armenian has used his forest as part of a wall off. Okay, that is great. The Viper here creating a bit of a longer wall off with structures, not really using the ridiculously far forests here. Very injured scout runs away, still outruns the eagle, so I doubt that eagle will catch up. Extra town center for our Armenian, extra town center for our Aztec. Decent location next to the gold. Not a lot of good placements for town centers, by the way, in the Viper's base. Let's take a look at the Armenian base. Also not a lot of great places. His town center is not fantastically placed. If he didn't create this wall off, I would have maybe said place it here, even though that's a pretty aggressive place to have a town center. And all of a sudden the Viper's army composition is looking a little shitty, if I can put it like that. Every one of these units, look at that eagle warrior +6, and these are just scouts for now. He is not even upgrading into warriors, and so I don't know what the Viper thinks he's gonna get done here. If the villagers garrison, bad news bears. Now the eagle can run around these swordsmen, and the Viper is pumping out a few monks, getting the old sanctity. So the HP on those monks is going to start growing and growing. And here we go. Oh, he tries to Viper the Viper, and he succeeds. And there's that first fortified church, by the way, with a free relic inside and a warrior priest as well. So you'll notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 relics still out on the map. And now there's a 6th with this fortified church. And that's why I like to say there's the dynamic of the game always changes in terms of relics, especially when you're playing or watching. Not so cowardly, the lion is chasing, especially when you're watching civilizations that have relic related bonuses. Now, I'm not going to say the Lithuanians because their bonus caps out at a 4, and so having 6 not really relevant. But for example, the Burgundians, whose relics also generate food, the Aztecs, who get 33% more gold with their relics. Always interesting to see when they're facing off against the Armenians, just because it does add an extra potential revenue source for the Armenians, who are not a very expensive civilization. They're not exactly the Saracens in that, you know, their strongest units are not very expensive. Even their upgrades are really not that bad. Feriders, which adds 30 HP to their infantry, is still less than 1,000 total resources. Composite Bowman basically costs as much as a crossbowman. Warrior Priest is kind of like an Eagle Warrior, 30 food, 60 gold. Are they going to catch him? Is he going to turn around? No, he's leading them straight to some reinforcements. And so the Eagles and the converted swordsmen have to get the hell out of here, waddling with their big, oversized swords. Now, this might be a fantastic play out of our Aztec, just basically saying, you know what? You're building the better army, so I'm just going to take it in. Mr. Yo-style relic pinching out of Sebastian as his warrior priest moves in. 0.94, 0.99. Oh, so those... the longswordsman can actually catch up, and if they don't, the eagle definitely will. And now he's body blocking with the scout. He's body blocking with the scout. Will he drop the relic? Will he get inside the town center? No. Whoa. Can you garrison with the relic? What? Did we just witness a glitch, or is that something that I didn't know about? Is that... I didn't realize that was possible. Does that also happen with a monk? I thought the monk dropped the relic. Mamma mia, did we just witness another glitch in the game after all of their ostensible fixes and all of that stuff? That is hilarious. Scout scaring the natural wildlife here in this Disney-esque gathering of animals that we saw earlier. Swordsman facing off against the zebra. Zebra does not flinch, does not give a rat's ass. This is his land. He is here and he'll die defending it, and the swordsmen blink first, and now they're facing into nothingness. Good moment for us to take a wider approach and see what the players are doing. 3 town centers for the Aztec, 73 villagers, so he's now ahead 10 villagers, despite being behind 5 or 6 earlier. His army count's a little lackluster. He is housed for a second right up until that other house gets built. And what is he going for? Not really sure what our Aztec is planning. I don't think our Aztec really knows what he's planning. I wonder if the Viper is playing more reactive this game and waiting for Sebastian to make the first move here, because his army supply is not really indicative of any kind of anything, to be honest. The Eagles do finally discover, if they haven't already, that the relic is right next to the base. We have 3 relics to 1 for our Armenian, whose warrior priest is taking a bit of a break here. Does he also come with an Eagle Warrior? No, no, one of the only units in the game not to come with an attack bonus against Eagle Warriors. But man, are they still strong. 11 base attack is not a small base attack. Lion on the high ground, by the way. Uh-oh. Oh, he does die. I thought he would do a little bit better. Looks like the Viper just converted a scout. I mean, of course he did. The Aztecs don't have cavalry of any kind, so obviously he converted a scout. Castle Age 2-handed swordsman for our Armenian. Are we going to get to see champions? Aztec monk just hanging out in the back. He's up to 65 HP. And let's take a look at the Armenian base. Ooh, sorry, a little bit of action here. Oh, they converted the warrior priest. They converted the warrior priest. Oh. So the Aztec just continues like collecting baseball cards. He is just collecting all of the various units that his opponent is building. Why is it taking this light cavalry so long to kill the monk, you might ask? Because the monk has 65 freaking HP. That's why. I'm surprised these they're not going after the monk. Okay, now they are. Okay, so Armenian does lose a few units, but at the end of the day, I think got the better trade there, even though he did lose the warrior priest. And now he's getting iron casting. He's getting economic upgrades. The Viper, still, I have no clue what kind of direction he wants to go in. He's got 7 villagers on stone, not enough for a castle yet. Very quickly, let's take a look at our Armenian, who's also at 3 town centers, placed vertically to the horizontal of his opponent. He's now down 13 villagers, housed yet again is Sebastian, and I don't see him building any houses right up until now. Oh man, that is sour. He is building 2 of them. So that's going to help out a little bit. More monks will die. But the fact that they have so much HP, this is 4 dead monks. That's 400 gold just down the toilet there. And a whole bunch of eagles as well. And the blacksmith is coming under attack. It falls. And this is what I was talking about earlier. The Aztec, in theory, should be able to counter every single thing the Armenian is going to throw at him unless the Armenian hits some kind of Castle Age timing that doesn't give the Aztec time to really get up any kind of resistance. And that's what I think our Armenian is doing. Unfortunately for him, the Viper is heading up to Imperial. Although I say unfortunately, I'm not too sure what's the rush to go up to Imperial for the Viper. His strongest unit here is the Jaguar, which is going to be available in Castle Age. Oh, synchronized attack is the best thing in Age of Empires. And Ocelot, which upgrades his skirmishers, if he sees any kind of archer play out of the Armenian, is a Castle Age upgrade. So what's the rush? Scout busy attacking, I'm not too sure what, the farm it looked like? And pays the price, but the Eagles who chase will pay the price as well. Now the Viper's base has been punctured like a bicycle tire to the left. It's been punctured to the right. And these are not weak units. And again, the Viper, and there are the Jaguars. Emergency castle in the middle of his base, and now the Jaguars are going to come out, and they're going to absolutely wreck these swordsmen. Look at this +10 attack against infantry. And of course, always this separate class for condottieri. Those poor condottieri. We'll keep an eye on this chase as these swordsmen continue running amok here. They should be able to get a good amount of villager kills if they actually attack. They don't just kind of stand and like perverts watch these lumberjacks jack their lumber. Aztec warrior gets gangbanged when a conversion comes in and saves the day, and one more left tap. Look at the red. Look at their HP on the red unit every time these Jaguar warriors swipe that massive paddle. Oh mama. And the Vipers and Imperial illumination block printing. His monks are going to be roided to the hilt, and they're going to have 12 freaking range. And now we've got castle standoffs. And the Vipers and Imperial, I'm assuming a Treb. Has he actually seen this castle? Yes, he has. He has an outpost right here. So he sees his secondary stone being teethed right from his underneath his very nose. Also sees the castle, and so the Treb will come out. Swordsman standing atop a few fruit bowls to attack the market. What's this HP? Okay, they managed to get a third of the HP. Now they're going to get converted. I'm really going to need to see the conversion count both get converted at the end of the game, just to see how deadly these monks have been, and what the hell are you doing here at the very edge of the world? Literally on the edge of the world. You are going to start streaming Eagle Scouts of all things. And now come the composite bowman. Sebastian is just throwing everything the Armenians have at the Aztec, but now it might be a little bit too late. The Aztec is an Imperial. Oh my goodness, Theocracy also. So his monks are going to be so efficient, and they're going to jump up to 85 freaking HP. No, never mind, they were at 75. Now they're at 80. Eagle Scout runs in yet again, like the original Eagle Scouts we saw at the 15-minute mark. Get nothing done. And the barracks. Okay. I wonder if Sebastian thinks that... Well, there's Ocelot for our Aztec, by the way. So I'm assuming we're going to see some kind of skirmisher switch. Yeah, 2 skirmishers. And this is what I'm talking about. I think the Viper was just waiting. But I wonder if Sebastian thinks that these guys ignore armor of buildings, which they do not. Which is why you see the HP going down 1 by 1 by 1 by 1, even though they attack on a 7. These buildings with that ridiculous 10 pierce armor. But this is what I was talking about with the Viper playing reactive this game, and he is absolutely going to be able to react fantastically to this Armenian push. Armenian sees the stone miners see the castle going up, so everyone has a vision of what everyone else is doing. 2 composite bowmen and a scout move forward, and the the Viper says no. But what the hell's the point of this? You've got fewer villagers. You're on the low ground. I don't even know what the hell killed the lion. I'm assuming the castle. And he deletes it exactly. What the hell was the point of that castle to begin with? You've got 4 Trebs. You did not need a counter castle. F you to this particular outpost, says the Viper. I don't want you to see anything on the left side of the map. Unfortunately, there is another look at Sebastian's vision, by the way. Is there anywhere the Viper can push out of his base that Sebastian won't see it? 1 tile over here and a few dark tiles over here. Anything else, our Armenian is going to see it immediately. The question is, does the Viper give a rat's butt? Because his Treb force is out. He's going Rams as well. He's getting chemistry. He's getting iron casting. So these skirmishers are going to be pretty damn strong in a second. They're going to be at a +5 thanks to that Autolot, and they're going to have 9 freaking range. 2 Trebs move forward for our Armenian. Lord of the Rings archers move forward. They are going to defend it. Now, villager snipes is definitely something that our Armenian can focus on. It looks like he's raiding to the back with a few light cav. We'll keep an eye on those. But what the... you don't ignore the armor of siege. But the light cav should be good enough. The quantity of units here should be good enough for our Armenian. Okay, the Viper just keeps streaming in these rams, which in a few seconds are going to be capped. There they go. Okay. So, Treb force for the Armenian down. He's got 1 more. I wonder if the switch to composite bowman was just too much for our Armenian, because he's now like stuck investing in upgrades when that's the last thing you want to be doing right now, is your opponent has his army already out, fully upgraded. The last thing you want to be doing is focusing on upgrades. You want to be pumping out numbers, quantity, and remember the Aztecs pump their military out 11% faster, which I always forget if that means they train 10 units by the time you train 9, or if they train 11 by the time you train 10. I always forget. And one of the big weaknesses of the composite bowman is other ranged archers, especially archers with 9 range to your 7, and down they all go. Flaming spears, elite jaguars as well are going to be joining the pitch in a second. There they are, and now their attack bonus was at 11. Yeah, infantry plus 11. But your bonus against castle fire is 0. That'll still kill you, as the skirmishers are chasing in a little bit too much. Composite bowmen need to get their asses inside the castle immediately. I was wondering why Sebastian didn't upgrade all the way to champions earlier on. I guess he always wanted to tech switch into the composite bowman. Maybe he wanted some kind of combination for his army to protect the bowmen with the infantry, to protect the infantry with the bowmen. But now he's got nothing left. The cavalry are going after this army to the right instead of the rams on the left, and the castle will fall. This is way too much Aztec bombardment. He is being taken to Pound Town, that one castle, and it collapses in a glorious animation of rubble and detritus. And now our Armenian is down to 135 population of the 190 of the Viper, and there you go. A bit of an interesting game out of both players. I feel like our Armenian really kind of waffled in what army composition he wanted when he hit Imperial. They don't get Hussars, so I'm really curious as to the switch into light cav. I'm assuming it is to take care of this unit. But again, now, so our Armenian went balls to the wall infantry, got a bunch of upgrades for them. Then he went ranged units with these Legolas units, then got all the upgrades for them. Now he's tech switching into cavalry and needs to get the armor upgrade for them. So that's what I'm talking about. You're not the Chinese. You can't just tech switch willy-nilly and expect your opponent to just let you do it. In the meantime, the Viper on his part just kind of sat back for most of the game. I mean, he accomplished very little with that one push out earlier on. He lost his barracks here, but he kind of just sat back and waited for his opponent to build an army. Oh, you're going composite bowman? Allow me to introduce you to the Autolot upgrade, which makes my skirmishers attack on a frickin' 8 with 9 range. And by the way, also still come with all these same amazing bonuses of archer and cav archer and spearman, by the way. Not that we saw any spearmen. And then he saw the infantry plop down in castle, went jaguar warrior. And so our Armenian did a fantastic job penetrating the base to the left, penetrating a little bit to the right. But those monks, those freaking monks, I really want to see how many conversions they ultimately got. I think it's a stat that's included now too, but this is just the survivor too. And he's stuck at 80, a meager 80 HP. And ultimately the loss of one castle, a double stacked castle over here, 3 castles down, a 4th one being placed, but hasn't even started construction on that castle, our Armenian, and he's down 60 population. This was a absolute foregone conclusion. Now the Viper's attacking him with his own units that he converted. And again, I wonder if Sebastian would have been better served just going full on infantry with a little bit of range support. You know, if you just showed the Viper maybe 10 of these composite bowmans, maybe put a +1 here, a +1 there, and tricked him into going full on skirmishers, because now he's going 27 skirmishers and he's getting 5 upgrades for them, 6 if you count Autolot, which trying to remember, it's a decent 750 resource upgrade. You could have fooled the Viper into spending a lot of resources and then just absolutely overwhelmed him on the left with your infantry, because his monk count wasn't super high. 2 monks, even roided up with all the upgrades that he got, are going to take a while to kill 30, 40, 50 infantry units. And how many barracks did our Armenian have at the end? Only 5. And that's the unfortunate part, is that he went just too many tech switches. And again, you are not the Chinese with the tech switch discount. And so you are paying full price, even though you have the better villagers with those mule donkey cart upgrades, mule cart donkey cart. I'm still upset that it doesn't make a donkey sound. I need to hear a "ee-yaw" from that cart, or I'm never going to be happy in my life. And ultimately, the Viper with the siege, with the counter, just countered every single thing that his opponent threw at him. And his opponent threw the kitchen sink at him. But let's take a look at the stats. 56 composite bowmen. I'm surprised it wasn't his infantry. 59 skirmishers. So quite a counter reaction out of the Viper. PKPM beginning of the game. PKPM a few minutes after that. So towards the middle of the game. Yeah, the economy is only about 10% different. Look, Armenian did a good job denying the Viper relics. And now you see there's 6 relics in total. But the Aztec only managed to get 2. Armenian only managed to get 3, but with the added one that he gets for free. Also, by the way, Armenian taking all the scarce resources, an extra 1,000 gold, an extra 1,000 stone, but wooden food. Here's your skirmishers for the Aztec. There you go. And here we go. What do we think in conversions? 15? I'm going to say 15 to 20. 16. Okay, look at that. Yours truly actually knows a little bit about the game. Who knew? Buildings destroyed, basically the same for everybody. But an interesting game. 148 kills by the Armenians, 25 of them villagers, and the Viper ultimately did catch up in villager kills, even though for the beginning part of the game, man oh man was his economy getting wrecked. And at the end of the day, these skirmishers popped out, the Jaguars popped out, and 19 kills on 15 skirmishers is pretty damn good. Jaguars probably have, a lot less, 1. So there you go. The Viper just playing super duper reactive. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I feel like he just waited for a lot of this game and let his opponent push into him. And then when he saw what his opponent had, he then countered it, because again, he just has the perfect counter. Composite bowman countered by this. Armenian infantry countered by this. And so our Armenian, using the great strengths of the civilization, was just not able to pierce too much of the base, even though, again, he did a great job, but ultimately lost his units to monks, lost his light cav to way too many and too scarce. How do I put this? The raids were plentiful, but it was only with 1 or 2 light cav. I would have loved to see 10 light cav just show up here and just absolutely pull the Viper in a million different directions. I don't think the Viper even got the Eagle Warrior upgrade, unless I'm mistaken. I think he's still on Eagle Scouts. And so with your light cavalry units, you can run circles around Jaguars. You can run circles around monks. Even though we saw how cool it is when you're fighting an Aztec monk, how many more swipes of the sword the light cavalry unit needs in order to kill it. But ultimately, the Viper, playing what I think is an incredibly well thought out reactive game, does manage to overwhelm the offensive forces of the Armenians, destroys their infrastructure, pushes back their 2 strongest units, and with that pushes the Armenian to the brink of his own base. And that infrastructure is not even going up yet, and the Viper is already pushing out with Trebs, with Rams, with monks, and with absolutely crazy units here. And the Armenian just doesn't have a response to this. His army count is less than half of his opponent. His villager count is down 35. And so realizing that he cannot stop the oncoming Aztec push, that he will have his heart ripped out at the top of the altar, Sebastian, GG's, and the Viper is victorious, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.